What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show. The Blazers on back-to-back nights lose to teams they're trying to pass in the Western Conference standings. They lost last night, of course, to the Golden State Warriors, and tonight they fall to the New Orleans Pelicans 121-110. This was the first ever battle between Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, and individually, Damian Lillard won that battle. CJ McCollum won the team battle, though. Brandon Ingram goes off for 40 points. The Blazers had no answer for him all game long. And defensively, the Blazers didn't have an answer for anything all game long. This was a poorly coached game. This was a game in which some role players really let me down. And we're going to discuss it all. Eric will be here at some point in the stream. He went to the game today to witness this travesty in person. Of course, Eric is rooting for losses, I think, at this point, because he thinks tanking is best long-term, and it's hard to argue with him because this team is headed absolutely nowhere. In the 62nd game of the season, the Blazers still look like a team in preseason mode. Anyway, hopefully you guys are having a good night. Hopefully this loss didn't spoil your night. Hopefully you were rooting for this loss, because this was a rough game all around. The Blazers were in this game for the most part, but once again, just an utter second-half collapse. Utter second-half collapse. That is the story with this team. It doesn't matter if they build a lead. They actually had an 8-point lead at one point in the second half. It was gone in, I think, less than a minute. That's this basketball team for you guys. So, before we jump into things, let's thank our sponsor, as this post-game show is presented by BetOnline. If you use the promo code BELIEVE, you can get a 50% reward bonus with BetOnline. Believe it or not, the Blazers were actually favorited in this game for some reason on the second night of a back-to-back. But, you know, you can use that promo code, get in on the action, maybe mitigate your pain as a Blazer fan. Of course, you can bet on all your favorite sports: NASCAR, golf, boxing. I know there was a big boxing fight if you're a Jake Paul fan, or a Tommy Fury fan. Anyway, you can bet on anything over at BetOnline with that promo code BELIEVE, 50% reward bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts. Thank you to them for sponsoring the post-game show. And thank you to Brian Tadovich with a $5 dono. Says, even Mark Jackson pointed out our boneheaded switching on defense no matter what. And no ball movement on the second unit. Thank you, Brian, for the $5 dono. And it was refreshing to not hear excuse after excuse. It was refreshing to hear commentary point out how silly our auto-switching was, switching into mismatches. I mean, Chauncey Billups sucks. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish. This is why I'm confused right now, because Dame obviously is going to go for it, but Chauncey is coaching like the team is tanking. I want to listen to his post-game press conference tonight, and I want him to be asked the tough questions. Chauncey, why were you auto-switching down the stretch? Chauncey, you played drop scheme on Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, two guys that love the mid-range shot. CJ McCollum loves the floater. Brandon Ingram loves the mid-range pull-up. And you played a defense that handed them that shot. Chauncey, why did you play a zone with Trendon Watford at center? Why did you play a zone where the bottom three guys in the zone for a period of time was Damian Lillard, Nasir Little, and Trendon Watford? That zone defense he had for a stretch drove me crazy because it was basically a guaranteed offensive rebound because Trendon Watford can't rebound. Jeremy Grant can't rebound, but he's actually your lankiest player on the court, but he's playing at the top of the zone. I mean, Chauncey's just completely lost right now. Chauncey has turned into Terry Stotts. It's just drop scheme or some crappy zone on defense. And then offensively, it is Dame, please save us. Let's run high horns with screens on both sides. It can work, but let's just run it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And if they are able to defend it, then, oh, well, we're screwed. Dame, please make a play. I was excited for Chauncey Billups to be the head coach because I wanted to get away from the Dame, please save us offense. Obviously, you are going to run things through Damian Lillard, but my goodness, man. When Damian Lillard wasn't making plays, this team was absolutely horrific offensively tonight. Dame had a great game, 39 minutes, 41 points, 8 rebounds, 0 assists. which is quite an anomaly, because Dame was making the pass out of the trap, and guys just weren't doing anything. Dame basically had to take it upon himself to try and make basically everything happen offensively. Matisse Thybulle had a couple good moments. Cam Reddish early in this game had a couple good moments, but it was the Dame please save us offense. 12 for 22 for Dame. 2 for 9 from 3, but he was 10 for 13 inside the arc and got to the line 16 times, made 15 of his free throws. When he was able to get downhill, he was unstoppable. He's either living at the free throw line or finishing. And then he also is tied for the team lead in rebounding. You know who else is tied for the team lead in rebounding? Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle and Damian Lillard are the only two players that I like on this team right now. Believe it or not. And I wasn't super high on the Matisse Thybulle trade, but Thybulle's been good. Thybulle's been a bright spot. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks, no turnovers for Matisse. He was a +4, Dame was a +2. Everybody else was a minus. No surprise there. Last game, those two guys were playing their asses off. You can make the argument that if you take everything into account, all around, those two guys are our best two players right now. And that's with Jeremy Grant playing, because Jeremy Grant made some shots today, got to the free throw line today, had 28 points. Jeremy Grant was horrific defensively today. I paid a lot of attention to Jeremy Grant on defense today. He was absolutely horrible. He was a complete non-factor. And it's like, oh, you got this long, lanky, good defensive player this offseason, right? That big forward defender that can slide his feet. Why did we get a forward defender like that? Well, supposedly it was to have some length to put up against a guy like Brandon Ingram, but Brandon Ingram, 40 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 18 for 29 from the field. And part of that was schematically, like I said at the start of this show, it's just absolutely ridiculous to run drop scheme against him. It's ridiculous to run drop scheme against players that love shots from the mid-range. But Jeremy Grant, lazily auto-switching, lazily protecting the rim, late on rotations, getting blown by. I mean, he was just a complete non-factor defensively today. Jeremy Grant has not been good defensively lately. And we know he's a terrible rebounder for a power forward. 4 rebounds in 37 minutes for Jeremy Grant. When Eric gets here, we're going to have a conversation about Jeremy Grant. I don't want to start talking about his upcoming contract, but I am worried. El Mensajero, sorry if I butchered your YouTube username, said, Tori, you were right. Grant is an overrated defender. I tried to tell people, but a lot of people didn't listen to me because it was too negative. But I went and I watched tape on Jeremy Grant before the season started to educate myself. I don't just come out here with takes. I don't pull takes out my ass. I try and have educated opinions on things. I watch film when I need to. When the Blazers acquire a player who's supposed to fix the defense. But yeah, Eric, just you can just straight up call me when... Although Skype is closed for me. I don't know why. That's strange. Eric, you can straight up call me when you are ready. The ringtone might scare me, but oh well. But yeah, I mean, Grant was really bad defensively today. Shout out Elias, $2 dono says, ugh, this game was irritating. Absolutely. Thank you, Elias, for the $2 dono. Shout out Brian Tadovich with the $2 dono says, it's not Grant, though. It's where Billups puts him. It's both. It's both. Because Billups puts him in situations to deal with a bunch of ball screens, but guess what? Brandon Ingram's going to play in pick and rolls. You got to be able to get through screens. Brandon Ingram isn't the quickest guy. It's a problem when Grant's guarding guards because they get through screens quicker, and Grant gets through screens extremely slowly. He doesn't get through screens well. Against Brandon Ingram, you at least got to be able to stay in the play. Because that's why they got Jeremy Grant, was to guard guys like Brandon Ingram. But he can't. That's a problem. That's not a Chauncey thing. When guarding guards, Grant hasn't been good because they just run him through a bunch of ball screens. So yeah, that's a critique that me and Eric have both had all season long. But man, he can't guard any ball-dominant player. I mean, at this point, you have to put him on maybe the worst offensive player so he can play help defense. But that's the thing is, like, people said this dude was going to be really good defensively for us and the type of guy we needed. But he's actually quite like Robert Covington in terms of you can't put him up against ball-dominant players because he doesn't get through screens well. But it's exactly what I said before the season. It's exactly what I saw in the bubble when everybody was hyping up his defense. He doesn't get through screens well. Like, that's the thing. You can maybe play drop on Brandon Ingram if Jeremy Grant can get through a screen so that he can at least heavily contest that mid-range pull-up if Brandon Ingram stops and pops. But Grant gets screened so far out of plays. Ingram has so much space in the mid-range. He's just comfortably rising up, and he knows he's not going to get blocked. He knows he's not even going to get contested because the bigs just kind of back it up, standing at the rim, and Jeremy Grant's just dead on a screen. So, but just effort-wise, there were some effort issues, I think, today from Grant. I think there has been lately. I just am not happy with his play. He can score the ball, but, dude, believe it or not, since we traded for Matisse Thybulle, I like Matisse Thybulle more than Jeremy Grant right now. Because Matisse Thybulle plays defense. Matisse Thybulle can get through a screen. Shoot, Matisse Thybulle, since becoming a Blazer, is shooting better than Jeremy Grant from three. Jeremy Grant in the year of 2023, this from Stephen Vaughn, is shooting 33% from three. His three ball has fallen off. Matisse Thybulle's a better rebounder. I can't believe I'm saying this, but since Matisse Thybulle has become a Blazer, I like him more than Jeremy Grant because Jeremy Grant doesn't do the little things. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't fight through screens. At times, he has some questionable effort defensively. He takes some bad shots. Tonight, he was efficient, but you guys know what I'm talking about with some of the deep twos that he takes. So, offensively, scoring the ball, he was fine. 28 points, 7 for 14 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3. He knocked down threes. But that's the thing, is in 2023, he hasn't been knocking down threes. And his game is, at times, reliant upon knocking down that three ball. He got to the free throw line today, which was nice. He did that to start the season, but that's kind of trailed off as the season has gone. So I hold Jeremy Grant to a high standard because he's going to be paid $30 million a year. That contract's going to be questionable. That contract might be the most overpaid contract on the team next year. So, but not to keep picking on Jeremy Grant. I mean, it's not even like anybody particularly was real bad tonight. Anthony Simons was in 20 minutes, 2 for 9, but I don't think he was 100%, and then he rolls his ankle again. And we'll see how long he's out after this, but this is the second Blazer starter in the past month that has come back from an injury and re-aggravated that injury. Maybe it's bad luck, but that is slightly questionable. Makes you raise an eyebrow at the very least. So he's going to miss some more time, and the Blazers need Anthony Simons because, as I said today, when the Pelicans forced the ball out of Damian Lillard's hands, this offense was not good. Was not good. Jeremy Grant made some plays, made some shots. Matisse Thybulle made a couple shots, but Nas, 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. Sharp, 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Watford was 4 for 7, but had 3 turnovers, and there were a couple pretty bad turnovers. Guys just didn't knock down threes. Watford 0 for 3. Nas 0 for 3. Sharp 0 for 2. Simons 0 for 3. Even Dame was 2 for 9. Dame didn't shoot well. But guys, it's a problem where when teams trap Dame, you got to be able to make a play out of that. And there's a couple of guys on this team that are a little slow recognizing when to cut and where to pass the ball. Grant, for as well as he scores the ball, he's not the type of guy that you can use as a short roll playmaker for others. Sure, he can catch the ball in the short roll and pull up for that mid-range jumper, get to the rim, but if you rotate to him, If you send two at Dame with a Dame-Grant pick and roll and you rotate a third guy to Grant, you can get away with it because Grant doesn't consistently make the right play and make it quick enough. Same thing with Nas. Same thing with Sharp, of course, if you put him in that sort of situation, a read and react situation after the ball gets out of the trap. Eubanks especially is real bad, so with him starting at center, he only played 18 minutes tonight, but this is where we miss Yusuf Nurkic. When teams trap Dame, Nurkic is good out of the short roll. He sets great screens for Dame to get him more space to maybe split the trap or beat the trap in general, which is a really underrated thing. But then if the trap gets there, Nurk is good out of the short roll, man. And people just want to look at his finishing numbers and say he's a below-average center finisher. Okay, that's true. But it needs context. Because I would rather have a center that can catch the ball in the short roll and then get to the rim and finish at 60%, which is below average for a center. But finishing at 60% is the same as knocking down threes at 40%. It's 1.2 points per shot. It's an efficient play, even though it's below average efficiency for a center, and Eubanks makes 70% of his layups. That's better. Guess what? When Eubanks gets the ball out of the short roll, he's not getting to the rim and finishing. He's not making a play. He's catching the ball, and he's stuck, and he doesn't know what to do, and then by the time he figures out where he should pass it, the defense is rotated out of it. Nasir Little shot a 3 today off a Eubanks short roll where Nasir Little was absolutely wide open, and Eubanks took so long to read the floor that by the time Nas got the ball, it was pretty contested. That's why I can't stand when people just look at percentages only and say, Eubanks is a really good finisher. That's why he's better. Nurkic he's a below average center finisher. Well, guess what? Nurkic can get to the rim out of the short roll. And getting to the rim out of the short roll is a good thing when you finish 60% of them. But Nurkic can also make the pass. So that's where we're missing Yusuf Nurkic. Anyway, chat, I'm going to read some comments. Obviously, without Eric here yet. A little bit harder to read and bounce off comments. Definitive One says, Nurk always puts the backup center in a position to have to play his minutes. Then we get mad at the backup. Health and availability matters. I mean, Ant's gotten hurt this season. Dame's gotten hurt this season. Nurkic was healthy all season until recently. And then he pulled a calf. Like, you know how many guys in the league have missed time this season? Like, I know Nurkic has had injuries in the past, man, but I don't know. Like, you want Anthony Davis then? He's even more injury prone, man. Like, can't fault Nurkic for pulling a calf. He'll come back at some point. But that's the thing. That's the thing is, you have to build your team to be able to withstand injuries, and that's where Cronin failed. The backup option, if Yusuf Nurkic got hurt, and he gets hurt every year, right? Well, the contingency plan for that is Drew Eubanks, who's not a backup center. He's a third-string center at best. He's a stiff in the short roll. He doesn't fit this team. He's bad defensively. When he's not blocking a shot at the rim, he's bad defensively. What does he do well? He can block a shot here or there, and then he can maybe finish a play around the rim. That's on Cronin. Cronin's backup plan to Nurkic getting hurt was a third-string caliber center and a 6'6", 6'7" big who can't jump, who's just really outmatched at the center position in Trent Watford. Definitive One says, even worse, if he's third string being asked to start, that's not on him. Yeah, it's on Cronin, but Eubanks isn't good. That's my point. My entire point is Eubanks is not good enough to start when Nurkic isn't playing. He's not good enough. We miss Yusuf Nurkic. That's the thing, though. People think Nerlens Noel can be a backup center. I mean, Nerlens Noel is the same way in the short roll. When you got a guy like Damian Lillard, you gotta have bigs that can make basic plays out of the short roll and read the floor quicker than Eubanks does. When you're that reliant on pick and roll. You know who would have been nice out of the short roll? James Wiseman. Somebody who could just grab the ball and take a strong at the rim. I don't know if he can read the floor better in the short roll than Drew Eubanks, but at least he's young and can maybe learn. So, I mean, Cronin has failed this team. With the backup center spot, the coaching was bad tonight. The roster is bad. Anyway, frustrating, man. So Portland got absolutely outclassed with Dame off the floor. With Dame on the floor in 39 of the 48 minutes, they outscored the Pelicans by 2. In the 9 minutes Dame was off the floor, they got outscored by 13. Part of that is a lack of a bench, and that's on Joe Cronin. But a part of that is on Chauncey, because his entire offensive system right now is Damian Lillard-centric. Everything he runs is for Damian Lillard. Now, I like that he's able to use Dame off the ball a little bit better than Terry Stotts ever did, and he mixes up the way he uses Damian Lillard. I think that's part of the reason why Damian Lillard is having his best season ever. But you got to be able to do other things, because when Damian Lillard's not in the game, guess what? Anthony Simons is not quite Damian Lillard. Now, he can be in stretches, but you can't just rely on Anthony Simons to carry your whole entire offense like you can with Damian Lillard. Okay, so when Dame's off the floor, you're basically trying to put Anthony Simons in a position to hopefully be Dame for 10 minutes a game. Now, with him hurt, it's much worse. And that's why the offense hasn't been that good without Anthony Simons. Keon Johnson cannot be Damian Lillard. Trendon Watford bringing the ball up cannot be Damian Lillard. Nasir Little, nobody's Damian Lillard on this team. Nobody's even close to Damian Lillard on this team, especially with Anthony Simons out. But Chauncey Billups doesn't have anything else. Anything else. And that was one of my biggest critiques with Terry Stotts. Because in the playoffs in the past, what was the issue? Teams would trap Dame. They were allowed to be a little bit more physical with him. They'd force the ball out of his hands. And then we didn't know what to do. And we didn't have a backup plan. We didn't run much motion unless it was focused on getting Damian Lillard the ball on the perimeter. That is the Blazers' entire offense right now. The entire offense. How many times in this game, when Dame didn't have the ball, did we see Cam Reddish ISO, try and drive, get cut off, kick out to Jeremy Grant, and then Jeremy Grant would ISO, drive, get cut off, kick out to Nasir Little, and then Nasir Little would shoot and brick a 3. Our offense is terrible. And it's built for Dame to carry it. And without Dame in the game, we're screwed. And with Dame in the game, if you force the ball out of his hands, we're screwed. And that's on Chauncey. Now, if you had a bunch of great isolation scorers, maybe you could get away with it. But it doesn't really work in the playoffs. Doesn't really work in the playoffs. We don't run enough backdoor stuff. And whenever I say backdoor stuff, people think, oh yeah, get Shaedon Sharpe more lobs. But you got Jeremy Grant on the court. Have Dame set a back pick for him and then flash to the middle of the key. Have set a back pick for Nas. Have Grant set a back pick for Nas when they're in together, and then Grant can flash to the middle of the key and shoot that mid-range he loves so much. But at least, maybe you get a lob over the top to utilize Nas's athleticism. Get the ball down to the corner. Have Jeremy Grant at the opposite post and set a back screen for him. Have him flash across the key because he's finished the ball well this year. You know, if you can set a back screen for him towards the opposite elbow and he can flash across the key and face cut a guy, then he's in position to finish. Right? But just more motion in general. These guys, dude, there was multiple times in transition where they're pushing the ball in transition, and I'm just watching guys on the opposite side of the floor, and there's 3 guys, and one just runs to the corner and stands the entire possession. One runs to free throw line extended on the weak side and just stands the entire possession. And then the other guy just comes and sets a ball screen. And then the pick and roll isn't there, and then Dame backs it out, and then ISOs. Just, everybody's standing. Defending off the ball against the Blazers must be so nice, because you're sitting there, as an NBA player, they make so much money, sitting there making $60,000 a minute or whatever it is. And on defense, if you're defending somebody off the ball, you literally just get to stand there for 20 seconds and just relax and just basically watch an NBA game from the best view in the house. Right? And then, sometimes you just run at Damian Lillard, and Damian Lillard can have 3 guys running at him, and then, finish and contort his body and friggin' do yoga, walking dog, and flip up the ball from the floor, and it'll go in somehow. It's basically a vacation for off-ball defenders at times defending this team, because literally the Blazers just have dudes standing on the opposite side of the floor. Ball watching, ball watching, ball watching. Reddit's going to hate this, but we run better motion offense in my freaking rec league. In my rec league. If I'm running down the side of the court with somebody else, instead of running to the corner and stand there the whole possession, I am setting them a back screen. Or maybe cutting to the middle of the floor. And then going back away from ball if I don't get the ball and setting a screen. Just move, just cut, just set screens for each other. I mean, part of this is on players because they willingly watch. But part of it's on Chauncey, because we've seen it all season. There's no signs of improvement. And either the team isn't hearing him out, or he's just not holding it accountable and doesn't care. I feel like it's the latter, because he doesn't talk about it. He did when we hired him, but not now. Defensively, he just runs these conservative schemes and runs zone with the smallest lineup that can't rebound regardless. Especially not in a zone, though. And basically, he coaches like he's in the frickin' fetal position. And then he comes on his post-game press conference and is just says cliches and walks out of here. And that's basically the feeling around this entire organization. Is they'll try and say the right things, but they don't do the right things. So our offense is a joke. Our defense is a joke. The way he's handled some minutes in the lineups has been a joke. Chauncey's been terrible this year, man. And at the start of the season, I said I think he's trying to get these guys to read and react in freelance situations. He wants guys to play outside of a set structure. But, Golden State running in transition, what do? They'll set a cross screen out of the blue and set a back screen out of the blue and make a cut out of the blue, and they're just completely unpredictable. But they got guys that move, set off ball screens, cut. And they're really hard to stop because of it. At the start of the season, it was like, okay, I think he wants these guys to figure that out. And that's why he's not running set stuff. But it's game 62, and there's no improvement. So he's completely failed at that, if that was the plan. And it's like he's not even, but it's like he's not even trying to force that either. He just kind of stands there on the sideline. Sometimes his hands in his pockets. Just hoping Dame saves his ass. It's Stotts fence. We need a new name for it. It's Chauncey fence. There we go. It's good old Chauncey fence. And also, isn't it crazy how I see people saying we miss Josh Hart. Josh Hart made this offense look better. I know he didn't shoot great, but yeah, he cut at times. He pushed the ball, handled the ball, made plays out of short roll. In a game like this, we needed Josh Hart. We needed Josh Hart to be that playmaker out of the short roll, out of the trap. Earlier in the season, the Blazers were able to have some success when Dame was trapped because the big would roll wide and Hart would flash to the middle of the floor. Nick Thompson says, love how Torrey tells it how it is and doesn't BS like the other chump media. I will always tell it like I see it and share my opinion no matter how popular or unpopular it is. It gets me hate. I needed to vent about it last postgame show. Not going to do it right now. Not going to do it tonight. Okay, I got it out of my system. I just wanted to get it out of my system. I don't foresee anything like that the rest of the year. Okay, I just need to get it out of my system because I was frustrated. I will always just share my opinion. I'm not going to placate to certain narratives. Okay, sometimes my opinion seems like a narrative because I don't like a specific player. And then I'll point out why I don't like a certain player when things happen in the game. That's a narrative, but I truly just try and have reasonable opinions, and I'm not going to sit here and force positivity. Because I'm too competitive for that, man. I'm too competitive for that. If you're sitting here just accepting the sad state of this team, I don't think you're competitive enough. But if that's how you want to be a fan, okay, I'm not going to tell you how to be a fan. You know what I mean? If you just watch the basketball because you like the basketball and you like the guys and you just enjoy it, win or loss, okay, good for you. If anything, maybe I'm a little bit jealous. Right? Because there's fans out there like that. Fine. Cool. If that's the way you watch basketball, that's completely cool with me. I'm just too competitive. I can't stand the fact that we got Damian Lillard playing the way he is, and we are this bad. I want to win. And at the very least, I want to go out there and compete. I want to run the right stuff. Give ourselves the best chance to win. Play our asses off. That's the only way you can be okay with a loss, is if you do that. But the thing is, for the longest time, we haven't fully done that. We haven't ran the right stuff. Haven't defended the right way. Haven't played with consistent effort. Haven't been mad when we've lost. Guys are just smiling on the bench when we're getting punked. I am way too competitive for that. If I took 9 of you, the 9 best basketball players watching this stream right now, and we played 5-on-5 pickup, I would be pissed if I lost. I hate losing. It's actually a miracle I'm able to come on stream and be well-spoken with how much I hate losing. And it applies to the team, applies to anything. So, always gonna share my opinion. Don't worry about me ever selling out for the popular narrative. Shout out to Priest with a $5 dono. Says the Nets are sliding down the standings. Big trade with them this offseason for sure. Thank you, Priest, for the $5 dono. I wouldn't be too sure. Apparently, they passed on mammoth offers for Mikal Bridges, and then Cam Johnson is a restricted free agent. But thank you for the $5 dono, Priest. And then shout out to Kyle Wilson with a $5 dono. Says, so pissed. This team is a rudderless ship. Jody doesn't want to rebuild, but we don't want to spend for a contender. Worst owner in the NBA by far. Thank you, Kyle Wilson, for the $5 dono. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, starts at the top. Chauncey, Joe Cronin, and Jody Allen. All 3 of them are failing. But Joe Cronin's not going anywhere. Chauncey Billups isn't going anywhere unless Jody goes somewhere. Somewhere being a world where she doesn't own the Portland Trail Blazers. Joey, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Nick Thompson says, sign Noel, you bozos, Cronin crew. I mean, yeah, because we need size desperately, but they're not going to do anything. They don't know what they want. And I tried giving Jody the benefit of the doubt, too. Half Daddy says, Tori, you won't tweet hashtag fire Chauncey. I mean, here's the thing. Even though I don't like Chauncey right now, they're not going to fire him. If you want Chauncey fired, you should be saying hashtag sell the team. Because that's the only way that's happening. So I'll tweet hashtag sell the team. It's the only way Billups is going anywhere. This Gatorade is too good. We need Gatorade as a sponsor. Gatorade would be an awesome sponsor. Would you guys buy more Gatorade if they were a sponsor of our streams? Say yes, so that they'll sponsor us. You need a liquor. You need liquor as a sponsor. I wonder what the rules are on that. My ad reads for a liquor sponsor would be so spot on every single game. Because it's either a celebration, but most of the time it's drowning out the pain, right? So, because the Bet Online ad, I always live read it and try and mix it up so it's not the same every time. Which they've been a huge help this season, so shout out to them. You know, if you're into sports betting, definitely, hopefully you consider them over the alternatives because they help us out. So, yeah, liquor would be awesome, man. I mean, Portland is such a beer scene. If you guys know a brewery, if you're a regular customer at a brewery, I can't even say the word brewery. Was that better? Hopefully, if you're, set me up with a brewery. That would be awesome. We need a brewery. Dude, what is wrong with me? Eric needs to come here because I can't pronounce brewery. Anyway, yeah, thank you to Priest and Kyle Wilson for the donos. Tori, if you get the first pick, would you keep it or trade it? I mean, if Giannis is on the table, I guess trade it, but otherwise, you keep it. I'm sounding like Eric with the pronunciations with that word. Eric would have to do the ad reads for them. Honestly, Eric would probably be better at beer ad reads anyway. Don't know why, just a feeling. Michael Slayton says, I miss Eric Brandt. Eric should be here soon. We'll see. We'll see. I'm still waiting on a message. I could call Stephen Vaughn. But Eric is probably going to be here. Is Eric still at the game? Yeah, Eric's just standing in the arena, dumbfounded at how bad we are. What about Prime, says Alan G. I mean, I've never tried Prime. Reese Cooley says Eric is on his way. We whipping right now. Because Reese and Eric went to the game together. We whipping. What a statement. When is Eric going to be here? How many minutes from now, Reese? Eric is beating his chest and screaming because he's so mad the Blazers lost. Eric wants the Blazers to lose. Arrowhead says, Tori, is the team legally allowed to even say that they're tanking? No. They can't come out and say they're tanking. Of course not. It'd go against the sanctity of the league. Yeah, I'm sure Eric's hyped. I'm sure you two are listening to NBA Youngboy right now because you're so hyped. That's the music I think Reese listens to. NBA Youngboy, and I don't know what else. He says respect my music taste. I wasn't hating on it, was I? Anyway. I guess we do a tankathon and see if we're good luck without Eric. See if Eric's bad luck. If we win this tankathon, I don't know if Eric can do the draft lottery stream. Anyway, there we go. Portland is... This isn't updated. We're in 9th. 4.5% chance at Wemby. And Chicago is only a half game better than us. We're only 1 game back of 7. We're only 1.5 games back of 6. Unfortunately, Orlando lost to the Bucks today. They're 3.5 games worse than us, a.k.a. better than us, for 5th. But can't rule out 5th. Because the Blazers don't have an easy schedule the rest of the way. Let me see if I can see, like, remaining strength of schedule. Like, they completely screwed themselves by dropping games to teams they shouldn't. Remaining strength of schedule. Portland has the 8th toughest remaining strength of schedule. They had a tough schedule to start the season, had an easy schedule up until now for like the middle part of the season. They did not do well. Now they have 2 games left against Boston, 1 against Philly, 1 against Memphis, 2 against Sacramento, 1 against the Knicks, and 1 against the Warriors. Can I see the schedule? Yeah, I can. So, okay, that's cool. 6-game Eastern Conference road trip coming up, baby. Let's lose some games. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Yeah, they've lost 4 out of their past 5. I mean, that Lakers win was impressive, and then getting blown out at home against the Washington Wizards. Accepting a loss out of the All-Star break to the Kings. Oh, you beat the Rockets! Dame at 71! But then you lose to Golden State and New Orleans, who you're battling with for positioning. In the last 5 games, the Blazers have given up 121 or more in 4 of them. The only time they didn't was Houston, but they still gave up 114. 115 against the Lakers. When was the last time we held a team below 114? We gave up 138 against the Thunder. 122 against the Warriors. I don't even remember this game. I don't remember that game. Why don't I... What? Chat, can you remind me what the Golden State game was on the 8th? Because I'm completely blanking right now. When did we beat the Warriors by 3? Oh, that was Peyton's last game. Oh, no wonder I didn't remember. I washed it out of my memory. It was the day before the... Oh, it was the day before the trade deadline. That's why I don't remember it, because I was mentally fried getting ready for that. Okay, that makes sense. When was the last time? The last time we gave up less than 114 was February 1st against Memphis, but we gave up 112. When was the last time we gave up less than 112? It was this game. We lost by double digits, but the last time we gave up less than 112. Shoot, the only time, maybe, we gave up less there against Orlando, but we lost. I mean, look at these scores. Aren't these so low? Wow. So the only time since January 10th, so basically the last 2 months, the only time we've given up less than 112 points was January 19th against the Sixers. We actually only gave up 105, and we lost by double digits. Yeah, this team's screwed. I love it. So at Atlanta, who has Sadiq Bey now, that's probably a loss. Orlando and Detroit, if you're rooting for the tank, you're rooting for just a loss out of one of those 2 games. Okay, but then Boston, Philadelphia, then at New Orleans. I mean, we could be looking at we're probably looking at a 2-4 road trip, but maybe you could get it down to 1-5. And then you come out of that road trip and you face New York and Boston. So 2-6? 2-6 over our next 8 would put us at what? 31-39? 8 games below 500? Which would probably put us... What is this ad doing? Get out of my way. No, just go. What? That would probably put us like 7th. 6th or 7th-ish. You got to root for Indiana to win some games. Indiana, OKC, Chicago, Orlando are kind of the 4 teams above us in the tank race that I'm paying attention to. I want to see their strengths of schedules. Where do I go for that? Remaining strength of schedule. Indiana has an easy schedule. That's good. OKC has an easy schedule. That's good. The Lakers have an easy schedule. That's good because they're right there with us as well. Orlando has an average-ish schedule. So Chicago was one of the teams too. Where's Chicago at? Chicago's 12th. So 3 of the 4 teams right above us are bottom 6 in terms of remaining strength of schedule. Chicago is a little bit tougher than average. And then Orlando's in 5th, and they have an average-ish schedule, 16th. Orlando's been okay when they've been healthy this year. They've just been injury-plagued, so hopefully they're able to get healthy. I mean, honestly, at this point, you can't rule out Portland being able to get up to 5 in the tank race. I mean, I am just dreaming about Victor Wembanyama. Give me that view merchant, please. Give me some Wemby. What's the motto for Wemby? I haven't paid attention. Have we come up with, the NBA community at large, have we come up with a good tank motto for Victor Wembanyama yet? Trembly for Wembley. Wemby. I don't know what I'm saying. Shout out to Hailblazers member for 13 months. Says, thanks for breaking that down. Of course. Thank you for being a channel member, Hailblazers. Brick for Vic. Blazer fan has the most uncreative... I'm just teasing. Lose to win Wemby. No, it has to rhyme, man. That's the rule. It has to rhyme. There has to be a rhyme in it. Downtrend for Wemb. Doesn't work. Tankorama for Wembanyama. I like it, Eric. Induced despair for the new Gobert. Brick for Vic is the one they use. Okay. I like Tankorama for Wembanyama, although that's too many syllables. That's just exhausting to say. Weepy for Wemby. All right, we might have to start putting people in 5-minute timeouts with some of these awful tank mottos. You guys, what is wrong with some of y'all? Shut down Dame Dalla for Wembanyama. Priest, yeah, that's who I was talking about. That's funny. Anyway, oh yeah, we gotta simulate the thing. We'll see if Eric is bad luck. If no Eric is good luck, then we might have to have some tough conversations. Anyway, we'll scroll up from the bottom like always. We got second last stream, so we'll see if we can do better than that. At 14, Toronto. At 13, the Lakers via New Orleans. At 12, Utah. At 11, New Orleans via the Lakers. At 10, Portland. Damn it, we lost a spot. Damn it. Eric's not bad luck. At 9, OKC, Indiana, Orlando, Charlotte, San Antonio, Detroit, Chicago, Washington, and Houston. Houston gets him again. Houston doesn't deserve him. Then Actually. If the Blazers don't get the number 1 pick, I think we want Houston to get the number 1 pick. Someone in chat tell me why that would be. Why would we want Houston to get the number 1 pick? Is 899 is on top of it. Harden would leave Philly, and then we get Embiid. Yep. So actually, last stream was maybe a good situation. The Blazers ended up with a 2nd overall pick, and Houston had 1. You know, that's the best possible situation if the Blazers don't get the number 1 pick. Anyway, don't tell Eric we already simulated, okay? Okay? We actually haven't simulated yet. See, it's a fresh page, okay? It's fresh. Anyway, guys, first simulation of the day. At 14, Toronto. 13, Utah. So the... Oh, is that the Lakers or the Pelicans pick moving top 4? So the Pelicans are top 4. At 12, it's the Lakers. Yeah, the Pelicans are top 4. At 11, it's Washington. At 10, it's freaking Portland. 4 is New Orleans. Okay, at least they'll only go up to 4. Tankathon is rigged, I swear. We're gonna do this until we get the number 1 pick, man. Do any of you ever do this where you sit here and just sim and sim and sim until we get the number 1 overall pick and then you feel better about our situation? Is that just me? Can I just please give us the first freaking pick, man? What the hell is this? There we go. Look. Eric's bad luck. Eric's bad luck. Houston got the 2nd pick, so maybe Harden wants to play with Scoot. Yeah, this would be a great scenario. Dang. See, I told you. First sim of the day. Portland number 1. How many times did I simulate? Trevin, go back and count. Zach says, damn, Tori wants Eric off the streams. I mean, you know, without him, we got the number 1 pick, man, so I'm sure he'd understand, right? Better odds of a hurricane hitting Portland again, the first pick. Man, no, there's not a 4.5% chance. Our water ain't warm. In 100 years, maybe. Just wait, in 100 years, maybe. We said 20 minutes max like 20 minutes ago. Eric, where are you? Where art thou? There he is. Look. Brought it in, spoke it into existence. So, it turns out, Eric, first roll on Tankathon, we got the number 1 pick. Your bad luck. Oh, it's not bringing up Skype. Oh no. What in the world? We might have to. Where's Skype? It's just a black box. I might have to close Skype and reopen it. Normally, this is what we're doing before streams, but yeah. Let me close Skype, Eric. Give me a sec, and then reopen and see if that works. Oh, now it shows up. Now it show. I didn't even close Skype. I just stopped the call. That made no sense. That made no sense at all. I literally just stopped the call and then it popped up. Anyway. Welcome to the stream, Eric. We've been having a lot of fun.
I know. I've been watching.
Yeah, I know. I'm in a trolling mood. Why is your why is your hat behind the top banner? What? I'm real confused right now. I don't know what's going on.
What?
Is it that? Okay, there. No, it was that thing. Your camera was showing behind the top graphic. Okay, so how are you happy?
I'm not necessarily happy, but I mean, like I said last night, I'm kind of chilling. Yeah.
I'm happy because I get to drink my Gatorade now.
I'm at my mom's house because it's quicker than going all the way home, so I had everything set up here. But...
Yeah, so let me think this play-by-play donation, then I'll let you talk about the game, which you've heard my thoughts, and I want to hear if you think I was spitting or what. Play-by-play, a.k.a. Chase, with a $5 dono. Thank you, play-by-play. He says, there's a better chance that mountains start growing in Florida than us getting the first overall pick. Yeah, hurricanes hitting Portland and mountains growing in Florida. Before we get Wemby. I mean, maybe.
I don't know why you're trying to say I'm bad luck. We've gotten Wembanyama the first time we tried it, and then we haven't really done it much. And last night we got 2. It's not like we've had horrible luck.
Did you see how long it took me to get the first pick?
I did, yeah.
Damn.
I was laughing. Yeah.
Dude, we need to... What stream was that? We need to find where we got the first overall pick on the first tank roll of the season.
Trevin should be able to do that.
I need to publish that as a short. Trevin. Is Trevin here? Our mods have like kind of been MIA lately. I've seen a few tonight, which is nice. Like last night, I don't know if did we even see a single mod?
I don't remember.
We got Arrow and Zach. Yeah. But we need our researcher, aka Trevin.
Earlier in the stream, I felt like I was the only one like approving comments, and I was on max. So.
Yeah, we might need to fire a mod and hire a mod. We'll see. Anyway, so your thoughts on the game?
I mean, typical Blazer performance. Start well, defending well. They make some adjustments, we don't, and that's ball game pretty much, right? Yeah. The only real unfortunate part was having Ant come back tonight and then getting re-injured. That sucks.
Second time we've had a player re-aggravate an injury in the past month.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Ingram's going off in the first half. He starts getting going. And then in the third quarter, we're running this stupid zone, and all they have to do is dribble to the left side of the top of the key, and Brandon Ingram starts on the bottom right, and then he just walks up to the free throw line, and no one rotates to him, so he grabs the ball with like a ton of space, and he can either just shoot that 15-foot jumper or attack the basket if someone closes out on him. And it was like rinse and repeat, like over and over again, like 5 or 6 possessions in a row. And then Chauncey seemed to blame Sharp, who was like one of the bottom corner guys, because he was like talking to him for like what seemed like several minutes during a free throw. And yeah, it just Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. And then they go
Well,
small without a center. Their biggest guy is Trey Murphy, and Chauncey's counter is to sub in Drew Eubanks. It's like what are we doing? Like Drew's not a create an advantage type center. Like you only play him if you need to play him against another center, right? Like it makes no sense to counter a small lineup with players that can't take advantage of that small lineup. So it's just really weird. I mean, I know we don't have a lot of options, but that would have played into our strengths right now when we have a small team with length on the wings that we acquired at the deadline. Like, why don't you play that length at the wings when they have a small lineup when they let you off the hook for not having a center right now or a big man? And then on top of that, like Chauncey plays like he subs Cam in pretty early in the third, and then plays Grant Dame and Thibault and Cam like major minutes, and then he has all those guys start the fourth quarter because it's a close game, and then sure enough, like 7 minutes into the fourth quarter, they're all gassed, and we still have 5 minutes to go in the game, and then the other team just breaks it open. Like I don't understand. And then it was a freaking like, does no one understand the concept of stopping ball? Like how many times did we just have Olay defense and like someone was driving and we just like go right by them? And then the biggest thing, I must have missed you complain about this. Maybe it was when I was in the tunnel and didn't have reception. You can beat I feel like you and I could beat the Blazers right now on offense because the book's out. All you have to do is pump fake.
Yeah.
Pump fake them into, dude, it's ridiculous.
I did a tweet about it. I didn't really bring it up in this post game, but go ahead.
We had freaking Willie Hernangomez figured that out against our defense, right?
Dude, Willy Wonka could figure it out against our defense.
He would catch the ball on the run. He has no chance of making a lay-in, so we would just pump fake on the run and like get someone in the air and just run right into him and get a foul. And like he did that 2 times in a row. It's like it's so stupid. Like why like have we not learned? That's like 2 things: falling for pump fakes and not stopping ball. It's like 2 elementary school type things. Like my son's learning that in his first year of 4th grade basketball right now. Like,
see,
so stupid.
That's where maybe that's like the only, how do I explain this? That's the only place I can find a shred of optimism for Chauncey defensively, is that maybe Chauncey is just at the point where he's like, I can't coach these guys. They can't stop ball. They jump in every pump fake. Like, they don't even do basic stuff you learned in 1st grade. I don't know, man. Because if you got guys just open the door defensively on the ball, that's not really a Chauncey problem. Like, you at least got to try and wall guys off, and guys just don't. Even Jeremy Grant doesn't, man. Like, Jeremy Grant multiple times this game did that. I thought he was terrible defensively tonight.
Well, Thibault was amazing in the first half. In the second half, he guessed wrong like 5 times in a row, and CJ just drove right by him because he played him to the left side and CJ went right, or the opposite, and CJ just absolutely just cooked him on drives and then was kicking out and stuff. And man, yeah, he was
competing,
terrible
though.
In the second half.
Yeah,
but
he wasn't good. He's competing. He made plays in the first half. Like, the first half was maybe the best defensive half of any Blazer in the season. So
in the first half, I was like, man, this guy, maybe he's the answer at the 3. I was talking to Reese. I'm like, man, how much are we gonna sign him for this? It's like gonna be 4 years, $60 million is what we thought is going to be his contract, based off this game. And then we're not going to make the playoffs, so we won't see that becomes kind of unplayable at times in the playoffs. So we'll overpay him based on regular season stuff. And then, but yeah, I mean, I heard you say it too. It's like it's possible to not like someone, but have them grow on you once you see him play and stuff. And I think he is trying his best, and it's hard for like one good defender to prop up this absolute crap defense right now.
I mean, here's the thing, just plain and simple. Like, when it comes to him, what was my biggest critique of him is he doesn't shoot the 3 ball well enough. right? And I said, if he can shoot the three ball well enough, then I'm happy. It's just the thing is he's been in the league 4 years and consistently not shot the ball well enough. So when you're analyzing guys, you can't just take any 31% shooter and then assume, if we bring him in and then have good vibes because, hey, Matisse, you can shoot whatever threes you want. You can't just assume that they're automatically going to improve from that. Maybe they will. Maybe that's what they needed. But, I mean, it hasn't worked for a number of different guys. It worked the opposite for some reason this season with Josh Hart, right? There was no good vibes with his three-point shooting. He was scared to shoot. And then, Justice Winslow isn't becoming a shooter. So it's like, I can't sit here and when we bring in a guy who's not a good enough shooter, I can't sit here and be like, well, maybe the good vibes will fix it. You can't bet on that. It might happen, but you can't bet on that. So, and that's why I said at the time, if he can ever just figure out how to shoot the ball consistently, then I'll be happier with him. And so far, in a small sample size, he shot the ball well. But we still need to see it for a longer period of time before we can sit here and say, like, oh, he's a different shooter here. Yeah.
I kind of like some of his basketball IQ plays. I've heard you mention this several times. I feel like if he just played straight up, sometimes he'd be really hard to get by. But he often chases those steals. So that was tough tonight. But
that's where you just need a solid coach just to teach him when to not gamble.
Yet he had that tip out to Grant, which was like a super high IQ play to not only tip it back, but like knowing that Grant's in the corner, like without even seeing him. That was a sweet play.
That's
high
my
IQ
type
play.
of play.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that play.
So I just he's growing on me for sure. I was like that with like Zach Collins too. Like I hated the Zach Collins pick, but eventually like I thought it was the right pick, and it was just unfortunate he got hurt. But
yeah, I mean, here's the thing though: is like any bit of defense from anyone will seem amazing on this team.
Right, absolutely.
We'll get blown out of proportion because we play no defense. So, but I mean, he rebounded. He got on the boards today when nobody else could. Bro, it feels like, wait, what? How did we have more offensive rebounds than them? It felt like they had 20 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, I think that was just because it was a couple of possessions that seemed really bad.
Yeah. But what did they shoot in the paint? Because they didn't shoot many threes. They only made 9, but they still score 121 points. Mm-hmm. Let me look it up. Paint points. We gave up like 66 last game. In this game, we gave up 58. Yeah, I mean, I guess the size didn't necessarily crush us in this game as much, but it was more so you let Brandon Ingram go off. Why, Eric? Because you're playing drop scheme against him, against a dude who, if you gave him 3 options, a layup, a mid-range shot, and a 3-point shot, he would maybe shoot the mid-range shot. And you're playing drop scheme against him and just willingly giving him the shot he probably loves most. He loves mid-range shots. It's so dumb. It's literally playing a defense to the strengths of your opponent.
Well, then, like, Jackson Hayes comes in and just pump fakes Drew and Trendon into oblivion and gets easy baskets, too. It's just freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. So
those guys fall for every freaking pump fake. It drives me absolutely crazy.
They suck. Neither of them should be in a rotation for a team supposedly trying to win games. Like Watford, God, dude. It's frustrating because it's like I look at Watford, he's like, oh, he's 4 for 7 today, 4 for 4 from 2. Had 6 assists. Like, that's nice. But defensively, he is freaking horrible.
I'm your glitchy Wi-Fi, which means...
Shut up.
Yep.
Shut up. What's the dude's... I don't know. Ad played. Yeah, Watford sucks.
What ad is it?
It was the... God, what company is that? You know the guy that's like the chaos guy for the sprinkler system commercial, and then the garage door shuts on their car. Yeah, in Mayhem, that guy, like the All-Star. Yeah, Mayhem. Yeah. That's what I was going for. I was thinking it was like Geico for some reason. I love those commercials. I love that guy. Why? Okay, here I have a question. Completely off topic, but why are car insurance commercials outside of Progressive good, but then fast food commercials have gotten so bad because you got the Burger King song, but then you got the freaking Cardi B and
Offset.
yeah, Offset ad. You know what ad I'm talking about? Which is just
Yeah.
nails on a chalkboard.
I don't know. The Burger King song though, I mean, that's
Because-
like the best advertising ever because like everyone knows it and hates it and like, yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean, bad advertising is good advertising, right?
Yeah.
We need people were saying we need a liquor sponsor.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah, I mean,
you could read those off.
I hardly ever drink, but I was telling Reese in the car, like I'd probably have to become an alcoholic if we had an alcohol sponsor because I would definitely support that and drink it every stream. So if you want to see me drink your alcohol on stream every single stream we have, I will definitely do that. Yeah. Whatever, Bonnie.
Yeah, we need to manufacture we need to manufacture a bucket hat for you and then just have 2 big vodka bottles on the side.
One of those like hats where you put the drink in
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
have those little yeah, well, let's get a Burger King to sponsor. We'll sing the song on here. Yeah. Andy Marchant says, "Where's Eric? Has he retired from the channel?" Right here.
He's behind.
You must be like starting the stream over, but in chat normal time.
Yeah. It's always funny. It's always funny seeing those comments. We got a dono from Priest, Eric. $5 dono says, more likely that Eric and Tori each win the lottery twice over and buy the Blazers before we get the number 1 pick. Facts. Hashtag brick for Vic. Hashtag sell the team Jody. Hashtag thank you Priest for the $5 dono.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's not true. I mean, what did you say we're at right now? Almost 4.5% or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. All right, hold on. Sam, whatever. I'm going to mute for a second.
What? If everyone watching this stream becomes a channel member, then we could buy the team. So hit that join button below. Anyway, what's up?
I'm going to give Sam what he wants.
Oh,
Say hello to my mom.
Hi, Charlene.
hi.
How are
What did you think of the game, Mom? Did you enjoy seeing the Blazers suck
no.
on defense?
I did not. I did not enjoy the game at all.
Well, you're not alone.
This is like when Cora comes on the stream. Yeah.
Chat is
My
so
mom-
happy right now.
My mom got to meet Carson tonight, so
Oh, really? Yeah, Carson's awesome.
yeah. She of course already met Reese, but yeah.
Reese is
Um,
also awesome.
My mom does not want Team Tank though because she likes enjoying the games and going and seeing them win, so she does not want them to tank. Yeah. Nick says I look a lot like you, Mom. I actually look a lot like my dad, but yeah. My brother looks more like my mom.
Your brother.
What do you think of Chauncey Billups?
I am losing total faith in him.
Same, I'm
I
right
don't
here
like the
with
way
you.
he's playing the players right now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, she has a cool sweatshirt.
Yeah, I like that sweatshirt.
Yeah, my mom has season tickets, so she goes to every game. And yeah, it's fun. What else do you want? What do you guys want to know? What do you want to ask my mom?
embarrassing Eric Brandt childhood stories.
Do you have any embarrassing Eric stories to tell on stream?
No, I won't embarrass him.
Oh.
Priest with the $2 donation says, I hope she wins the lottery and buys the Blazers. There you go.
Yes, I would love to win the lottery and buy the Blazers.
That'd be amazing. Connor, what are you booing?
Connor Johnson says, Beavers or Ducks? We're a Beaver family.
We're Beaver family.
My daughter goes to Oregon State. I went to Oregon State. My brother went to Oregon State. So, yeah. Yeah, we're Beavers in this family.
I respect it. I hate the Ducks, so.
What did you think of our trade deadline, Will?
Bad.
If you owned the team, would you go into the tax to win, or would you play it cheap like Jody?
Nope. I'd go into the tax.
Oh, this is a good one. What do you think of Gary Payton?
Don't even go there. I do not like him. He used us, and then he was only here to rehab, and then his whole plan was to go back to the Warriors. Nope. I hope everybody boos him when he comes back.
Oh, I hope so too. He says he was blindsided though by the trade. He couldn't believe it.
Yeah. A former Beaver, yeah, he lost his former Beaver status with this family.
Why couldn't you guys come up with better NBA players than Gary Payton II and Drew Eubanks?
Dude, or poverty.
Where's Ethan Thompson? I'd rather have him.
Yeah. We got to go way back in the day. Like Brent Barry, AC Green, Gary Payton the first. Yeah.
Do you think
Steve
Wayne
Johnson,
Tinkle
former
should
Blazers.
be fired, or is it just a situation where it's tough to do anything in Corvallis?
I don't think it would be like bad if they fired him, but I just think the program's at such a disadvantage for basketball. I don't know.
They should hire you. I feel like you could relate to the younger population and recruit players well.
I could be like Jonathan Smith, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
Former Beaver going back, and yeah, except for I didn't actually play, so. Yeah, he got an extension and has a huge buyout after that Elite Eight run, so yeah.
Sam Dooley says they should hire Eric. Well, if they hired Eric, I don't think he'd be able to come on streams anymore, so you guys would get a heavy dose of some Stephen Vaughn. Do you guys want that? I don't know if you guys want that.
If you want to know how old I am, you could have just asked. I'm 43. Zach says I would relate to recruits by playing Pokemon and Fortnite with them. Could have gotten Kevin Knox to come there, I guess.
Oh, yeah, the friggin' Fortnite suit guy.
Alex says, would you let me get tatted up?
No.
So, I'm not a tattoo guy, but yeah.
My mom was the same way. She told me not to,
Donald,
so I didn't.
Man, Donald owns me. Ducks have a title in basketball. Beavers, they are a joke. Thanks. I just basically said that.
Read the room, Donald. It's good vibes right now. Relax.
We should watch. Does mom like Fortnite guy?
Kevin Knox. Does she like Knox?
Do you like Kevin Knox? He hasn't even. He's played like.
Do we know? Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's at the point where I'm not doing a player review for him. Like, he just doesn't even exist right now.
Yeah. Do you think Thibault played well tonight?
Yes. I like him.
Yeah.
I met him and got a picture with him. I like him.
He's nice, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
You should show off your sharp picture right now.
Should I?
Yeah. My mom's opinion on the Timbers is probably that she hates when they have games on the same night as Blazer games because then it crowds the max.
I just ordered Del Taco, so
Nice.
you can solo stream.
This is her prized possession right now. She got a picture, her and her friend, with Shaden Sharp.
Wow, he's even smiling a little bit. That's impressive.
Yeah, I know. You do not want to know what she texted me about that picture, but
What? Well, that
I don't want to get demonetized right now.
Oh yeah, actually I know it. Yeah, well we can't. You should have wrote that. Oh man.
So she went to the team every year has like a game night with the team and season ticket holders, and they this year was at Big Al's, so she got to meet like Sharp and Watford. Well, she already met Watford, but yeah, it was basically all the like young players and new guys, and so she had 2 sessions she could have gone to, and she chose the second one, and like Dame, Ant, Nurk, all the good Jeremy were all at the first one, so she got to meet all the other guys. But yeah, kind of weird, but yeah.
You think they would split them up a little bit?
Split up some of the good players a little bit, yeah. But yeah, still cool.
I wonder who the best bowler on the team is.
I don't know.
Who seems like a good bowler? I feel like Jabari Walker seems like a good bowler. I have no idea why.
Yeah. Kieran says, wait, hold up. No, Watford didn't. I swear, Watford was interviewed the next game or something. He was at the pregame interview, and he was asked about his bowling skills, and he's like, "No, I'm terrible," or something. I thought he said he was terrible. I don't know. Could be wrong.
I feel like Dame would be good just because he's so coordinated, you know?
Mm-hmm. He's good at everything.
What am I watching? I need to get off Twitter. Did you hear a Chauncey interview tonight? Like,
I didn't hear the interview. I heard something he said about the team's too reliant on Dame or some crap.
He's too reliant on Dame. Okay, you want to listen to it? Time expired to answer. That's a no.
I do.
Okay, well...
hold on. I'm typing what my mom said about shit.
To who? Don't type it in the chat.
Are you talking about his...
She's gonna say it.
Smile?
Oh, man. Yeah, where is this paragraph going? Is my question. Oh, there it is.
What did you say? I can't find it.
Oh my goodness.
Thankfully, that wasn't true.
Yeah, that.
I just got a text, like a random text from my mom saying she got that pick. And I was like, "Mom, what the heck?" But
Did you explain it? Did you explain it to her or no?
No, I haven't told her what it means yet.
Oh wow! Oh man, that's cruel.
She said, but I was like, "Oh, go, Mom! Like that's cool. Like, Sharp's my new dad or whatever." Like.
This is the greatest moment in channel history. Oh, we just have to quote that. Sharp's my new dad. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to be the one clipped. But there you go, mods.
I'd be proud. I wouldn't be disgusted. I'd be proud.
I'd be happy for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what? We segue from this into listening to Chauncey Billups. That's going from a real high to, I mean,
My dad is a 19-year-old basketball player. 24 years.
I wonder if it'd come with like a weekly guest interview like Pat McAfee has with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, man.
Not like we get anything out of it.
If we don't get something in return for that, yeah.
So what's your experience with Chauncey been like so far this year? It's been cool. Yeah. That'd be the type of answers we get. All right, it's Chauncey time.
Well, maybe if we brought him on with my mom, maybe he'd open up. Or something. I don't know.
Maybe we brought him on with our liquor sponsor and, gave him a couple shots. Problem is we'd have to wait a couple years for that.
I was going to say, like, you're giving alcohol to minors now? Jeez.
Oh, man.
Connor, she says, because I asked, what does that mean? And she says, no glasses on, LOL. BBC mistake typing. Oops, I just said it.
Why did you not say it for the longest time?
I don't know.
Zach, yeah, they can, well, actually, they probably shouldn't Google it.
Yeah, don't Google it. Do not
Don't Google it. Yeah. And also, apparently, you shouldn't Google Evan Fournier's last name. I don't know why, because I didn't do it. So, yeah, I'm just looking out for you guys. yeah, that's what it stands for, yep. Anyway, let's listen to Chauncey Billups.
All right.
Man, it was tough going. I could tell kind of early on that we was a little tired, dead legs were a little dead. They did what they were supposed to do. They came out and played very physical, picked us up full court, knowing the team's on a back-to-back. But with all that being said, I thought we was in a pretty good spot, and we became a little too reliant on Dame. We're passing up other opportunities, just trying to make sure we get the ball back to him.
He doesn't run anything for anyone else, Eric.
And everyone else just stands around, yeah.
Too reliant on Dame, but he doesn't cultivate anything except for Dame. So that's lame. Lame response.
That's just the type of run that he's been on, but it's, it throws you a little bit off a rhythm. He's just that great of a player that you just say, all right, here, we'll just give it to you and just take us home. And it just makes it tough. So we throw ourselves out of rhythm with that.
Johnson, pregame we talked about the opportunities that you guys got against the Warriors, being kind of limited on passes. In the first 2.5 quarters, the ball was moving around significantly more earlier in possessions. What did the Pelicans do that disrupted that so much? Was Ant going out a part of that second side, their ability to help, or was that just them changing it up schematically?
Yeah, I thought we were in a good position to be able to play Dame and Ant in the fourth quarter together, and I thought that would have cut down some of that pressure and denying, but I thought it really deflated the team when Ant went down. You could feel it, you could see it, but they did a good job. I mean, their whole thing was we're gonna come in, we're just gonna try to wear Dame down, just pick him up full. I don't care how many shots he makes. And then they started putting him into action defensively, and it did. It wore him down, but it wore us down as a team. Was the biggest issue.
I know you don't like to think too far ahead, but the losses like this, obviously you don't want to lose any game, but against a team that's like right there with you in the standings and with a 6-game road trip coming up, it seems like the margins are just kind of like getting thinner and thinner now. If you guys are kind of staying in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean it's tough not to look ahead, especially when you got so many tough games, right in front of you. So I try not to, and I try to just stay locked in on one game at a time. But like I said before the game, obviously we're gonna play this game again, this team again. I think a couple times, but like these games, they're big games, and in the West we just kind of beat up on each other every night. So who knows what will happen, But that was a home game against a team that's close to us that, we tried our best to win.
Are your injured guys going to make the trip with you?
Are they? Oh yeah. They're supposed to.
And are you expecting either of them to play on that trip?
At this point, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. I hope so, but I don't know.
Have you heard anything on Ant yet going forward?
No, I haven't. Just he re-rolled the ankle. I don't know how severe it is or not. I'm gonna go back and check on him here in a second.
You think they're going to do another MRI?
I'm not sure. They haven't said. I'm not sure.
Chauncey, can you speak to your guys' psyche right now? I mean, you seem a little down, obviously, right now.
Yeah.
Just where's your guys' mind at right now?
I think that was, coming off of last night is a tough loss. I think somebody talked about us having that time last time where we came back the next night and beat San Antonio. It was gave us a boost. We're coming out tonight and losing on the second night. It's tough. It's tough. It's kind of what this league is all about. So I think that I would say that we're all probably upset that we lost this game, and a little bothered by it. But it is what it is. It's the NBA. I hope guys go get some rest at home. We got a long flight tomorrow, and we jump it back up in a couple of days.
Does turning this around rely on Nurkic coming back, or do you think there's still other things you guys can try to do to make up for his absence?
I mean, there's been a void left from Nurk that we don't have anybody that can fill that void, obviously. And we know we need it, on both sides of the floor. We need him to be back. But, we also got new guys, that we're implementing and trying to, find where they are in the rotation, where they are when most guys are back. We're still trying stuff out. So, yeah, we would love to have Nurk back, obviously. We need him. But who knows when he's going to be back, and we just got to do what we got to do until he is.
Oh, it's over. Okay. What a bunch of nothingness.
Connor Johnson. Oh,
go. No, you go.
I said, Connor Johnson said, what does Chauncey even do? I made that exact joke during the game. I was like, our coaching staff is the epitome of that what does he even do meme with, was that DJ Khaled or whatever? Yeah. It's like, that's our whole coaching staff.
The post-game press conferences barely talk about the freaking game. It's like, where's your mindset at? What are you looking ahead at?
Yeah.
How does this feel? Like, talk about the freaking game of basketball that was just played. Anyway,
they're not tanking yet. They're 1-3 since the All-Star break. Good job, guys.
Dude, they have the 8th hardest schedule the rest of the way, Eric.
Yeah.
They're not making the play-in. I actually feel very confident in saying that they're not making the play-in. Ant got hurt again. Who knows how long Yusuf Nurkic is out? I don't think they're making it.
Yeah, but if Utah and OKC pull the plugs and the Lakers continue to be missing, I know they won tonight without LeBron and AD, but that probably won't continue too much. That would be the worst, is if we tank, but we don't even out tank those teams. So yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And our one win, was against Houston when Dame dropped 71. Yeah.
But Utah's not pulling the plug yet. They're gonna win games. We're gonna lose I think in our next 8 we go 2-6. We play the Knicks.
Hopefully.
We play the Celtics twice. We play Who else? Let me pull up the schedule here.
It's like Detroit and Orlando's.
Philadelphia on the road, New Orleans on the road, Boston twice, New York, and Atlanta on the road. And the Clippers. That's our next 9. Is there... I'll just say the rest of our schedule because there's enough... There's not too much left. We start a 6-game road trip. Yeah. At Atlanta, Orlando, Detroit, Boston, Philadelphia, and New Orleans. All those games... the only 2 games where we'd be favored is at Orlando and at Detroit. But Orlando's still playing their guys. We lost to them at home. That game is going to be like a pickup. Actually, Orlando might be favored in that game. And, Eric, if we lose that game, we automatically gain a game on 5th, which we are only 3.5 games back on 5th in the tank race, which would give us 10.5% chances at Wemby. So, assuming we lose against Atlanta, because Trae Young is just going to pick our defense apart, I mean, maybe Orlando wins between now and then. That might be to get us to 1.5 games back of 5th in the tank race. So this could get real sweet if you're rooting for tanking. But yeah, on the road, 6-game road trip, Atlanta, Orlando, Detroit, Boston, Philadelphia, New Orleans. Then we come home for 3 games, and it's 3 tough games. The Knicks, the Celtics, and the Clippers. Okay? We then have 1 random road game against the Jazz, which could be an important game for playoff positioning or tanking. And then we have a 5-game homestand: Chicago, OKC, New Orleans, and then Sacramento twice. That's not that easy of a homestand. And then Minnesota, Memphis, San Antonio, the Clippers on the road, then Golden State at home. That's not an easy schedule.
Saints Rule 2102 says, I think tanking the rest of the season will be the last straw for Dame and the last scout. Oh, well,
Clueless.
Here's the thing with that. That's why they're not going to admit they're taking, and they're not there's pretty much only one way, unless Cronin and Billups aren't complete ass. The only way to explain this is if they secretly agreed that they were going to be crap this season at some point, whether that was the trade deadline, before the trade deadline, or whatever, and just agreed that they weren't going to say anything about it. They were going to still try to win, still play Dame, still do all this stuff and do all that, but they agreed that they wouldn't improve the team and wouldn't actually do anything, make any moves, or make any coaching adjustments and stuff that help the team win a game that they want to lose. As long as that is the case, maybe that's the only way you could have absolute any hope in either of those guys moving forward, I think, is if it comes out that they secretly wanted this from the beginning. But short of that, I mean, it's just, I don't think there's any way around or a way to sugarcoat that those guys are both in over their heads in their current positions and don't have any experience and just don't know what to do.
People want us to watch the Dame interview. My question is why?
But the thing about Dame, his that Nate Jones guy who's pretty close with him has come out and said multiple times over the last couple days that Dame's not going anywhere and he's different and all that stuff. So yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's listen to the Dame interview. My food just got here. I'll just throw you up solo on this thing, and we'll listen to the Dame interview because it's 12 minutes long. Okay. So I'll toss up your solo cam, and then I'll just play it uninterrupted for 12 minutes. All right. There's Eric. And here's the Dame interview.
Building your online business?
With an ad. Let me switch it to my ad-free account, my premium account. All right, here y'all go.
Dame, whether it's a box and 1-2-2, however they want to step up, trap, what is it that isn't working for you guys when you guys are getting to the second side right now? Because it feels like you guys are creating looks as you close down the stretch that just, for whatever reason, not falling.
I think it's what you said. It's just not falling, I think early in games, is not as much, and I think this goes for both teams in every game. Early in games, certain things are going to work out that don't work out the same down the stretch, when the game is on the line. I think first quarter, second quarter, sometimes even the third quarter, it's just not as much pressure and there's not as much weight on those situations. So you see the game start to look different as it, gets toward the end. And then when you take into consideration fatigue and adjustments and things like that, it just looks different. But I think in a game like tonight, I thought we played pretty strong. And then in the fourth quarter, when it's time to win the game, it's just a matter of who can get stops and who's going to make shots. And they went small. They started switching everything. They face guarded me. They gave me a lot of attention, and I just tried to, stay in attack mode. And, when it wasn't there and they sold out two people, I was just, passing the head, hitting into the pocket. And from there, we just got to take advantage of that. And, we had a couple of times where we got good looks and didn't make them. A couple of times we got fouled. And, other times we just weren't able to capitalize. But, when teams play that way, that's what it's pretty much going to come down to is, how well we're able to execute and kind of hurt them when they play that type of junk defense.
Chauncey said that maybe the team relied too much on you tonight. Did you feel that way?
I mean, I never go out there and look at it like, the team is relying on me or anything like that. Like I said, I just try to be in attack mode and be aggressive. I know we're in the closing stretch of the season, so I just try to, as much attention as teams are giving me, I try to apply that same pressure on them just by attacking them and drawing fouls and getting into the paint. And, sometimes I'm attacking even when they're aggressive and when it's crowded, and other times, when they're overly aggressive, I'm, kicking it out, passing the ball ahead, advanced passes, and hitting the pocket and things like that. So I didn't really look at it like that, but a lot of times when you're in the game, you don't see the game the same as when you're on the sideline. So, maybe that's what he saw, but I approached and played the game the way I play every game.
This is going to be a dogfight, it looks like, in terms of teams getting into the play-in. What are the things that give you belief that you guys will be in there?
I think right now a lot of these games aren't going in our favor. We played well last night. They take over the game in the second half. We played well again tonight. They beat us down the stretch. And a lot of times, and it's not guaranteed, but a lot of times it eventually comes back and you start to win some of these games. And that's why I feel like it's possible for us. Some of these games start swinging back in our favor. And also the fact that it's such a tight race. It can be, the same way we feel tonight. We can win the first 2 games on this road trip or the first 3 games on this road trip, and a couple other teams that have to play each other. When I look at the schedule, you see they having to go head-to-head, and they all in the same traffic that we in. A couple teams losing is a completely different thing, So I think that's what is encouraging for me. Obviously, you don't want to be in a situation where you're fighting for 10 or 9 or anything like that, but at this point, we just got to keep scratching and clawing and understand that it's a tight race, and a lot of these teams are going to be playing against each other, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So we just got to keep pushing forward, and that's the one thing that we got to look at and know that it's a possibility.
How much more difficult does it get for you individually when Ant is not out there?
I mean, it's pretty difficult anytime you take 22 points off the floor, another ball handler, our other ball handler. Me and him have the ball in our hands most of the time, initiating offense, making plays, getting into the paint. So when you take that away, it just adds more responsibility for me as a ball handler, and it also allows the defense to give me more attention. You take a guy like Ant off the floor, and they obviously going to turn more attention to me and sell out a little bit more than they probably would if he was on the floor.
Like playing against CJ?
At first, it was kind of, it was weird. It felt like practice a little bit. A couple of the matchups. When we started the game, he started out guarding me. He was like picking up full court, but I knew that wasn't gonna last. But it felt like practice to start, and then I warmed up to it, and it was, it was what it was.
Dan, we talked to Chauncey pregame about trying to find that balance against Golden State. You guys took 23s in the second half, but so many of them are open, but a large portion of them are one pass or less. How do you guys strike that balance like tonight when a team like the Pelicans or even the Warriors last night, when they sell out on you, you're getting open looks, but it's only one pass away? Is that a premium spot for you guys kind of to be in that position? Because, the ball's ending up in Jeremy's hands, and he's shooting 40% three. The ball's ending up in Tease's hands, and he's shooting 50% since he got here. But for whatever reason, like pressure. But how do you strike that balance where you've got to attack maybe a little bit more and break that double or extend the defense out a little bit further?
I feel like I've been attacking a lot. And I think one thing that's hard for somebody that's not doing it to understand is, it's taxing. They're picking me up full court. Yeah, I can tell teams are intentionally picking me up full court just to make me work. And then they put me in actions defensively just to make me work. And when those double teams and the boxing ones and the traps come, it's my job to accept it and hit ahead. And like you said, Jeremy's shooting 40%. Tease is shooting the ball well right now. I feel like teams are the way they're defending. They're saying, we'll live with that. You're not gonna be the one to beat us. And I think we make enough shots in the first half last night. We made some shots tonight at a point in the game. But I think sometimes the other team is probably looking at it saying they feel like they're being let off the hook by us not putting pressure on that backside. So when the ball goes out, sometimes it is going to be that first opportunity is just that clean of a look, and you got to take it. And then other times you get the ball out of that double team, you got two guys near half court, and then you got to attack them again and make somebody else help. And instead of just one pass and it's one rotation, now you put them in multiple rotations, and then they end up in a 2-on-1, and you got one guy cutting and one guy at the three-point line, and then it becomes an even more high-quality shot. And you're also making them work a little bit harder. And or you might just go to the paint and you might just get a layup, So I think, that's the next step to attacking it is you get that shot, obviously you'll take it, it's a good shot. And I think the next step is to, catch it and then make another play, attack and try to break them down and try to see what else we can get, and make them work a little bit.
As far as this being taxing, it kind of seems most similar to that stretch in the bubble, but then you kind of knew it was 8 games in the play-in. Do you have to kind of manage your energy differently knowing that you've got a longer runway left here?
I think it's, I'm in really good shape, and I give a lot of credit to our performance staff that I've been working with. I think this is the first year of my career where every day I got a schedule of, just addressing certain things with my body, and it's been helpful. It's been allowing me to recover and, stay on top of things that I didn't in the past, as far as the day-to-day in between games and practices and stuff like that. So it is taxing, like I said, but it's important to get to the next thing and recover so that I can bounce back. And I've been on top of that. And getting to this point is 20 games left. Obviously, I don't want to go out there and kill myself every game just to have a result like tonight. But, it has to happen. I know that I'm conditioned to do it physically and mentally, and it is what it is. I gotta go out there and do what I got to do to try to put some wins on the board and give us a chance to keep playing.
What would be the word you would use to describe this start to the second half of the season and why?
I would say that it's just tough because we're just not healthy. You come out missing Ant. We have all the travel issues. Me and Jeremy sit the first game. You're missing Nurk. Justice is not playing. He's one of our better defenders. He's another facilitator, a guy that we've had handling the ball a lot when he was healthy. And that allows, myself and Ant to play behind the defense, which I haven't been able to do as much. So, I'm happy to be in front of the defense to start a lot of these possessions. And, they know where I am at all times. They can lock in on me much easier. Not having that size, you know what I mean? So I would just say that it's been tough. A lot of a lot of adversity for our team to fight against, and then, just being in position to win these games and then not pulling them out. I think it's just been tough. I think that's the best way to describe it.
After games like this, where you lose to a team that is like right with you in the standings, and like what you were just saying about like not having guys, like do you think, I know you've talked about like wanting to stay optimistic about you guys are going to be able to stay in the mix and stay in the playoffs, but do you think after losses like this about just like how the margins are just kind of growing thinner every time?
No, it is, but like I said earlier, if you look at the standings and you say like, oh, well, then they got to go to Sacramento, and then they got to go to Dallas. Like they could easily drop those two, and we could easily win the next two, and then it's like we'll forget that we was having this conversation today, because then we'll be ninth, you know what I mean, or eighth. So it is frustrating, you know what I mean. Especially I came into tonight like we win, we jump them, and now we just keep pressing forward. You're going into the road trip feeling better. But now when you lose, it's like, damn, we 4 games under now, going on a long road trip. That's not going to be an easy road trip. So, but I think, like I said, because of how close the standings are and because everybody has to bump with each other, it's going to stay that way. It's going to stay that way, and we gotta keep going, and live with whatever happens after that.
All right, so interview done. I stopped talking for 10 minutes and chat goes off the rails. Anyway, any thoughts on the interview?
I mean, Dame's who he is. He's not given up on the season, nor would I ever expect him to. That's what makes him great. He'll always believe in his abilities to get us to the playoffs. And I still don't doubt that he both thinks it can happen and there's a possibility he could actually do it. So, yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, that's like, I think he's frustrated, but I also think he still believes in himself and his abilities. So, I want that kind of person when we do try to win. So I don't want him to ever go the other way with it,
Yeah. Some good basketball insight in that interview, but
yeah.
I don't know. I care more about listening to Chauncey's interviews, to be honest. But Chauncey's interviews aren't insightful either, so. But you guys wanted it, so there you go. Anyway, how was the food? I'm still got a little left. I'll eat it after the stream. We'll wrap up the stream soon. I just didn't eat all day and was starving. Couldn't resist. So, pull up a Stotts interview. Nah. Anyway. Is there anything you want to say to chat, or you just want to type it?
I'm just going to type it.
Okay.
I have an Anthony Simons jersey on.
Yeah. I'm eating Del Taco, Jakob. Do you have Del Tacos in Norway? As far as I go, I don't care what is said about specific person in chat. I don't care. At all. Like, whatever. Taco Del Mar better? Yeah, Taco Del Mar is a bit better. We used to have one right by the Del Taco, and now it's gone. So
Taco Del Mar isn't, even when it was there, isn't open this late anyway. So
Yep.
Del Taco's clutch because they're open late, and well, I don't know how late that one's open on a Wednesday, but. Yeah.
Chiefin says, Tori, how do you feel about the KD debut today? That's basically like asking someone who's poor, like, what they think about the rich guy's new Porsche. Good for them. Yeah, Dame's like optimistic, but we win 2 or 3. Well, we can't win 2 or 3. When was the last time we won 2 games in a row? Like, we won 3 games in a row: Atlanta, Memphis, Washington. At the turn of the month, right? Like we had a stretch we won 5 out of 6. Before that, we were like 4-15 or something like that. Since then, we are 3-7. So outside the first 14 games of the season, we were 10-4, and then that 5-6 stretch at the end of January and the start of February, we have been horrible this season. Horrible. Because we were, 5-6 in that stretch, and we were 10-4 at the start of the season. So those two stretches, that's 15... Or we were 5-1. That's 15-5 in those two stretches. Outside of that, we are 14-28. So we have these stretches where we can figure out how to play good basketball, but it coincides with us being healthy. We've had heart for both those stretches. Now we don't have them. I mean, maybe they have a stretch like that left, but that's the thing, is they're going to have to play the rest of the season like that, because some of these teams are going to start winning some games too. Like, every game you lose, they move behind. You can say, like, oh, well, they could drop 2 games and we could win 2 games. Yeah, well, it could also be the opposite at any point this season, just like it was the last 2 nights. We lost to Golden State and New Orleans. So we've literally been hovering here and haven't been able to dig out of this hole. No reason to expect that should change, but I get that Dame's going to be optimistic on it.
I would love for Dame to just be like, I mean, he's not going to do this about the trade deadline, but it's like, I see other teams improving their team in the buyout market. Why aren't we aggressive in the buyout market? I would love to call out Cronin on that.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Jakob with the 13th month member message. It says, Bish Bosch, Knicks on a 9-game win streak with Josh. Bish Bosch. Is that a thing in Norway? Thank you, Jakob, for being a channel member. Yeah, Knicks are on fire. Knicks, at least their pick should convey, but now we have to start worrying about their pick being lower. Because they're in 5th, Eric.
They're winning so much. Josh Hart's actually upset that they're winning so much, and he wants them to lose just so they can have the pressure of not winning every single game with him on the team. That's how good it is in New York right now.
Yep, they've won 7 games in a row, 9 out of their last 10. They were only a game and a half behind the 4th place Cleveland Cavaliers. So, Cleveland, New York first round series would be fun. And then right now you'd have Brooklyn, Philadelphia, but that'll probably end up being Miami, Philadelphia, because Brooklyn has lost 8 out of their last 10. They're just not good. Miami, Philadelphia would be interesting. Jimmy Butler versus old team. And then maybe Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee versus Atlanta or Toronto. Milwaukee, Toronto would be a fun series. East should be fun. East playoffs. I mean, West playoffs should be fun too. Just without us in them.
Brian Tadovich with the $2 donation. Is Grant's defense not worth his offense, Eric? I think Grant's defense can be fine in the right scheme for him. I think he's been playing the wrong scheme this year, and I don't see that changing with Billups anytime soon.
Yeah, I feel like he was a bit lackadaisical today.
Yeah, he's been bad. It's almost like it. To me, it seems like he's been bad. I mean, it's probably a little before this, so it's probably not. But as his extension date crept up, and now that it's past that extension date, and he started getting questions about holding out for more money at the end of the season and stuff, like he hasn't been. We're back to saying, is he worth that extension that we're even offering right now, let alone more money again? And that was one of the problems when we traded for him, that we didn't think he was worth, paying $30 million a year. But you're now in a situation where you have to keep him. Like, I don't see any way where letting him walk because he's going to make too much money improves our team. So,
We're stuck
And
between a rock and a hard place.
If you did feel that way, I mean, it's not like he's been great for a while now. So like, why would you not move on from him at the trade deadline and get what you can for him in that kind of market? You probably could have gotten a ton for him. Yeah, probably more than you gave up for him. And so, yeah, if they let him leave, or if he leaves, just another complete failure by this front office. But once again, it also sucks that if we're locked into a horrible contract and that becomes like a Tobias Harris type contract in a couple of years, you know?
Yeah, I'm worried about.
I don't want to give him 5 years. Yeah. The 4-1-12, hopefully he just ends up signing that because he's, realizes he's maybe not worth more than that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they said to him, we'll give you this contract extension. If you keep playing like this, we could be willing to give you more, but we will be willing to resign you to at least this. That's our word. Then
at least we have like that $30 million contract to trade
yeah, yeah. Except we'd have to take back less because we'd be hard capped. Watch.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to be hard capped. So it's like, oh well, it's only $7 million above the tax. Since we're hard capped, we might as well stay below the tax too. And Jody gets a win again. We're so screwed.
I wonder if your theory is that they're trying to piss Dame off to trade. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I don't think it is. But let's just say that was your theory. And it's it's somewhat believable if you want to run with that. Once again, I'm not saying it is, but what better way would it be to have Jeremy walk in free agency and then blame Dame for not being able to convince him to stay? Like, we brought you in Jeremy Grant, you couldn't even convince him to stay here.
I don't like where you're going with this.
Dude, that would be like the last. Yeah, if we're talking about last straws, man, that would be.
I am Eric. Never in my life have I been this frustrated and unconfident in the Blazers organization. Never in my life. Like I if I'm being honest, I feel like we're screwed. I feel like we need a miracle in order to not be completely screwed. We need Embiid or we need Wembanyama. Otherwise, we're screwed.
Jakob says, question for me. Thoughts on Keon? Any hope? I don't know. I mean, he could still develop. This is the problem, though.
Go
ahead. I mean, Tori and I both ranted about this. The minute we traded for him, he doesn't have the ability to develop here. Like, we saw some promise when he had minutes, playing on Summer League and things like that, but he was never going to get enough minutes or enough of a consistent role with this team to develop. And so who knows if he does that with another team, if he was like on a rebuilding team and was getting 20 minutes a game, and by now this point in the season, maybe he's a lot more comfortable out there and a lot less erratic and a lot less, dribble happy in the right situation. But I don't know, for right now, I mean, it just seems like a complete waste of a roster spot to have him on this team and to have used him as value in that deal and then to not capitalize on that value before it was too late, and now he's not even close. Like, I don't even know if we get a second round pick for him. We might end up having to cut him like we did with Greg Brown at some point,
Yeah, he's too stiff, Eric. Like, he's an athlete, but he's not fluid.
Yeah.
He doesn't change directions well. He's just stiff. We have a lot of players that are stiff. Nas is stiff. Nas is an athlete, but he's stiff. That's part of the reason why I wasn't always buying the hype with him. Was he's just stiff. Like, he shoots stiff. He changes directions stiff. Like, now he plays stiff defense.
Say stiff one more time.
Stiff.
Gotcha.
Like, we got too many guys that are stiff, man. Like, Trendon is the S word. Like, Drew.
we have guys that are not everyone is in this category, but we have guys that are crazy athletic in terms of like testing athleticism, but not necessarily in athleticism that is good for basketball. I mean, obviously jumping high is good for basketball, but like you can't just jump high and be good at basketball, you know?
Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton was one of those guys. Here's the best way to explain it, Eric. Like, Shane Sharp can jump out of the gym, but also he can jump from like weird body positions and like weird foot plants and that sort of thing. There's certain guys that can jump high, but only if they have everything optimal. Like, nobody near them, they're able to have the space to plant their feet perfectly and like take a whole, 10-step lead up into it, and then they can register and measure a 44-inch vert at the combine, and people be like, oh my goodness, look how athletic they are. But if they're standing still, can they jump? If they only have one step, can they jump? If they're, can they jump off 1 and 2?
Mm-hmm.
Can they jump through contact? You know what I mean? Can they hop step jump, or do they have to plant at 1-2 if they go off 2? Like, there's so many things that go into athleticism beyond just what your vertical jump measures at. And that's the thing with Sharp is not only does he have a super high vertical, but he also can jump out of suboptimal positions and is just athletic no matter like what specific situation he's in. And that's why he's such a
hang
great
time.
athlete. Yeah.
Hang time,
So.
yeah. Here's... People wonder why Tori and I get so frustrated, like on trade deadline streams and things like that. And this is like playing out right in front of our eyes. We have a bunch of players we're hoping become good at basketball. We don't go out and get players that are already good at basketball that we can depend on to do certain things on the court already. And Hart was one of those guys. Like, he had his moments this year where he definitely hurt the team with some of his hesitation and things like that, but he understands how to play the game, and you're not hoping he like learns how to play basketball or is better than he has been the last 3 or 4 years, right? And so the problem is we're always trading for the guys like Cam Reddish who are like projects. Like, we already had Nasir Little on our roster who was in the same exact position. We're hoping that he eventually figures it out and like in the right situation. And it's just, like Keon's the same way. And now, we have all these wings and like, if we're going to do that, at least get like the best possible guys you can get. Like,
Yeah,
RKG
and a big.
yeah, James Wiseman, who is like the ultimate project. So if you're going to get a project, at least get someone who like fits the center position that we need, and also has a higher ceiling than any of the other guys we brought in. So would actually maybe have trade value if he realizes that ceiling, or he's like a good player. So like, I don't know. It's just like, it's like we have Dame and a bunch of players who are trying to be basketball players, but we don't know if they're going to be for sure yet or not. And we don't go out and get guys that can for sure help Dame. We get guys who we're hoping turn into players that can help Dame. And that distinction is the reason why I get frustrated. And this is coming from someone who has no problem with Dame and a bunch of draft picks and rookies and stuff being the path. It's just like, I don't like the retread route. Like, on top of that, like, just go out and get more young guys, like get the highest possible upside young guys and the most draft picks possible, and go all into that if that's what you're going to do, because getting reclamation projects or guys that you hope turn out that haven't after 4 years in the NBA isn't necessarily the right way to build a team, and that hasn't really worked out for a lot of teams historically.
Yeah, there's only been 2 moves that Joe Cronin has made that you could classify as him getting players he thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
One was obviously Jeremy Grant. That worked out because Dame wanted him here and he wanted to be here. The second guy was a guy who was injured, didn't even want to be here, and he had only been good for 1 season, a season where he was in the perfect situation for himself, in Gary Payton II. So,
and Adam Smith says it seems hard to get great talent to come to Portland. That's why we got to just draft it and hope that, you know, guys like Ant, you know, want to stay here and like playing with Dame, and Dame's a good mentor with them. And yeah, so yeah.
Connor Johnson says, y'all gotta move on. Move on from what? The state of the team? Because every move before this has led to the state that the team's in, so what, we should just ignore where the team's at right now and everything that's led to it? I don't know. Are you talking to us? Or are you talking to chat? Because people are always like, oh, move on, the deadline's over. Bro, it's led to this problem. It's led to this situation. I'm not gonna move on from the GP2 signing. It was terrible.
Well, why didn't anyone ask Cronin at that press conference what he knew when Gary Payton was hurt, why he signed him if he was hurt? If he didn't know he was hurt, did they feel lied to by Gary Payton and his agent that he was hiding an injury or something? Like, how come that's never been asked? Like,
you want to know why? You want to know why, Eric? Because he's nice and he might do them favors.
Yeah.
And he might talk to them on the sideline.
Mm-hmm. And he gets no pushback from any of those guys. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why people are like, oh, you guys should get a media pass. You guys should get a media pass. And I've never been hell-bent on trying to get a media pass. A, I don't think we could. But B, even if we could, I don't know if I'd want one. Being removed from the situation makes it easier to just speak my mind, you know? And it's like, okay, if we have a media pass and I go on stream just blasting Cronin for a trade, is that going to get revoked because he doesn't like that I blasted him and he pays attention since I have a media pass now? Like,
that happened with Olshey.
Yeah, you know? So that's the thing is, I would still call it exactly like I see it, but, you know, that I, like, pride myself on that heavily. I talked about earlier this stream. That's the thing, when you're too close to the situation as a media member, you start to, in my opinion, and this isn't directed at anyone or a shot at anyone, it's just like a general theme, regardless of if it's the Blazers or if it's another team. When you cover that team and you're dealing with these people on a day-to-day basis, it is like for the food on your plate, you're going to do what's best to keep that food on your plate. You're not necessarily going to ask the hard-hitting questions. You're not necessarily going to, speak out against the GM if it's, just depending on the situation. With Olshey, when he's hard on everyone, on every media member, and you're not going to get much more than a media pass, and he can't revoke every single media pass, and everybody in the media hates him, it's easy to criticize him. But with Cronin, I think some people are a little too close to Cronin to criticize him.
Yeah. Array says extend Matisse now. This guy who actually plays D in history. He's on a rookie contract, so once the season started, he is ineligible for a rookie contract extension, so we have to wait until free agency and offer him a qualifying offer in order to match any offers for him.
Anyway, we're going to be live tomorrow on the second channel. Blazers Uprise live, link in description box below. We'll be live around 3:30, between 3:30 and 3:45. Is when we go live there, and we do picks against the spread, and then we'll talk about, I don't know, what do we even have to talk about tomorrow? I don't know. We'll take your guys' questions tomorrow. So if you want us to answer a question, maybe we didn't get to it because there's a lot of people in here, it'll be easier to ask it tomorrow. So check us out on our second channel, Blazers Uprise Live. Link in that description. Go subscribe because we have about 30% of the subscriber bases we do over here because it's our secondary channel. So go ask us over there, and we'll try and answer your questions tomorrow. Anything else, Eric?
No, thanks everyone for watching. Yeah, and thanks for being nice to my mom. Hope everyone has a good night, and yeah, hope to see you all tomorrow on the stream. Yeah, then we'll have another stream Friday for after that game, and then finally a day off on Saturday, I think, right? We don't play Saturday. We play Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a day off finally. So that'll be cool. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday nights. We'll catch you the next couple of days. The Blazers lay an egg at home to the Pelicans, and the tank race is on, I think. Maybe. Possibly. This has been Blazers Uprise Postgame Show presented by BetOnline. Use that promo code BELIEVE for a 50% reward bonus. Unfortunately, we don't have any other sponsors to thank, so huge thank you to BetOnline. I would love, a liquor sponsorship right about now.
Yeah, I liked your Gatorade idea too.
Oh, Gatorade would be awesome. Anything at this point.
A brewery, since you can't say
brewery, that word. Bro. Why can't say it again?
Brewery.
See if it you. Wait, brewery. Brewery.
Yeah, brewery.
Brewery. Why does that sound so weird to me to say it the right way?
I don't know.
Brew. What was I saying when I was messing it up?
I don't even know.
I don't even remember. Brewery. I don't know. Anyway.
Rahi, if Dasani wants to sponsor us, I will drink all the crappy water that they want to give me.
I'll pour it on my head when I rant. Okay? That great product activation brand placement. I will, yeah. Honestly, it might be better used as that than drinking it.
Mad Dog 2020 is sponsored. Then I need a secondary sponsor as like a chaser for that horrible stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, have a good rest of your night. We'll catch you. We'll still be here for this stretch run of the season. We'll see how bad this gets or how good this gets, depending on what you want. Anyway, we're out of here.
Maybe my dad's Shaden Sharp will sponsor the shows eventually.
Have a good rest of your night. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go. Wait. Should I have a tanking sign off?
Nah, I think we still just
go Blazers, as in lose more. Anyway, peace out. Go Blazers.
Up the lot. Very good.